collaborative projects focus on giving back, and you kind of endorse like several brands such as like the Palestine Children's Relief Fund, Water Org, Tiny WPA, Sickle Cell Foundation Nigeria, the Safe Sister Circle, Refugee for Women, and My Brother's Keeper. So how do you go about choosing what brands you want to represent? And then how do you contribute to kind of helping support these organizations and, you know, the mission that they're kind of striving for?
I think, right now we're pretty much like focused on like, kind of like educating the community on like, that these are options available. So with Tiny WPA, like Eva said, they also they try to bring like parks into like vacant lots, so the area is more, I guess, not less. I guess. I'm trying to find like a word that isn't like too like architecture specific, but it makes the area greener, and like there's a lot of statistics that comes along with that, like being making maybe like a street feel like more biophilic or safer, because you see more like green and trees compared to like street lights. So right now we're just trying to like expose the community to that, and I guess let them know that supporting these organizations could like affect you.
I mean, do you have anything in the future plan to kind of like help strive, push forward like how you support these brands a little more, like charities, fundraisers? Is there anything that you plan to kind of do with Yen Studios to kind of collaborate further with these organizations to kind of impact the community in any way? I mean, have you done anything even on your own personal, own projects or just personal lives, period, kind of worked in charities and kind of things like this around this aspect? I mean, it seems like you're very passionate about these kind of things. So just, if you don't mind touching on those a little bit.
Yeah, I'm kind of repping it today. It's the Camp Mariposa. It's a camp based in Philadelphia. It's for kids that come from like alcohol abusive or drug abusive homes, and they get a weekend like every other month, and sometimes they have like events in between that they can get away and have fun. But the whole purpose of the camp is so that they can kind of get in touch with their home situation, and like these kids, they do go through a lot. So like whether it's a family member they overdose, or like their family member they abuse drugs and they might take it out on them. So we kind of just get them or help them get in touch with their emotions and realize that like it's not your fault. Like you're a child, like you're 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever it is. Like you're young, so like this has nothing to do with you. So I think just kind of starting there. Like right now we don't necessarily have the huge resources to like donate this amount of money to like start a huge project, but like that's kind of what we're striving for. So like we set those organizations up at the very beginning of starting the studios, because like the goal is to give back like with community. Like, hopefully our community can like give resources and give support to the ones that we have set. So just starting now with like what we can do individually, like just like what we have right now, that's kind of like where we're at with it.
What about you? Either of you two?
So I guess for me, I try to donate as I can. It's kind of tradition isn't a good word, but like with my family, like we try to donate to charities or just organizations that we kind of want to support each year. So that's something that like I've tried to carry on, like just moving out and away from family and everything. Excuse me, like Tiny WPA is one that we've approached like to get the conversation started on having like just a way that we can support them or introduce them to our community as well, like our friends, people that we know and stuff.
That's really nice. I honestly think that this is something very important, especially for like a lot of young creatives trying to start themselves somewhere, being able to also give back to things that matter to them most. So this is one of the reasons why I thought to ask this question, because I think it's very impactful Especially like if you're going to be putting anything out there that you want to give a message for, you should also have a reason for it. So it's very good to hear that, you know, you guys are very involved and you actually do care about these kind of things. I did want to kind of touch, since we're already on the topic of like community, but I want to touch base on the events that you guys showcase. As I kind of mentioned, and we talked about them a little bit before, but as of recently, you've had your Yen Olympics event, and you also had a release party for the Sunbreza that also kind of allowed other creatives to kind of have the opportunity to network, meet other people, get their names out there. So what do you hope for people to gain from showing up to your events? And then is there any special concepts that you kind of hold yourselves to when you're planning them out?
Yeah, so we kind of just want people to, you know, have a good time, feel relaxed. We understand that like nowadays, like we also want people to dance and enjoy themselves, but now it's like that club culture to where people don't feel free enough to, you know, dance and like be loose and like, you know, maybe stand up against the wall, go through some emails or photos. Like, but that's not what we want. We want people to enjoy themselves. So like however we see fit to, you know, get people to, you know, just like let loose and like, you know, feel relaxed so they can connect with people more easily. That's kind of our goal. So like when we're setting up the events, we think of, okay, how can we, you know, curate a space? Because like it starts there. Like whether it's too big, too small, we want to make sure that it's kind of just right for what we have planned, to where the music is good, the lighting is good, like the flow of the space. How's that go? What's the word for that? It's
Feng shui.
Yeah, the feng shui is you know, it's just right. So
yeah, I think just like a comfortable space for people, like, because like Adriel said, we want people to be able to let loose, like, and you can only do that like when you feel comfortable, and we understand there's more people with social anxiety now, just with a lot more like interaction being online and stuff. So like we want people to be able to be in person, talk to people, like not feel weird about like going up to someone and starting a conversation. I think like that's a big thing, just being able to just being able to talk to people.
I agree. I think circling back to one of the questions you asked, like how would Yen be different if
you had different way, if you had approached everything differently with the way you got into the creative world.
Yeah, I think if we met sooner, we'd have been at like a crazy place right now. I see that. So I guess that's another thing we try to do with our events. So we try to like create an environment where as though some, like you said, creatives can meet each other. So if we had something like a Yen Studios event, our freshman year, all of us would have met there, and then we would have taken off. So
you see, I mean, can you also kind of touch on like, I guess like how you plan these out? Because I know I went to your one like release event and it was very well planned, I will say. You know, you had the ice cream truck there and all that stuff. You had all the different tables set up and it was just a DJ, very nice ambiance. So like, how do you go about kind of like planning out these things? Because I know there's like a bunch of people who would want to kind of plan out events, but they don't know how to go about it. It can be very stressful as well, especially when you're working with a group of people and you're in a group of people already. So I mean, what is the process like? What does your brain go through? How do you kind of get through it and not be stressed when you're kind of doing these things? Because in the end, it is to kind of have fun and meet people, for people to like be in a friendly environment. So
kind of just knowing like who you are as a brand, as a collective, and what you have and how you want to present it. Like that's kind of, I think, where it started. Like we have our magazine release. You know, this is our first drop. That's also the most important factor of that too, because it's a first impression pretty much. So like we said, we have this space, like this is what we have to work with. Like let's work with it the best that we can and like make sure that we're within budget, because like, you know, that's kind of like, you know, how it starts, because like resources. But like we kind of said like you know, screw it. Like, you know, if you go over budget, you go over budget. But like, I think we just want to bring people the best thing possible. Like, not financial.
But yeah, with the budget thing, like we started with a plan, like what we envisioned for the event. Like each of us, like just talked a little bit about, okay, like this is what I think we should have, like see, without restrictions. Like, oh yeah, I think we should have like a ball pit or something. Like, not thinking about like budget or like how we gonna fit that in here or something. Like, just starting from, okay, let's like let our creativity run loose. How do we want this to? How do we want people to remember this? Like, because obviously that was our first public event as well. Like, okay, we want people to have fun. We want people to think, like I've never been like nowhere and they give me free ice cream or whatever. Like as an adult, you know, like sometimes you don't have like ice cream. You wanna go to the ice cream truck and get all the sprinkles or whatever. So yeah, just kind of that loose with the creativity, but just also or like people that go to other people's events as well. So like, okay, like this is nice, but I would want this. It would have been better if they had this. So just like also pulling from experiences like that and what we feel people would enjoy. Does anyone want to talk about like the stress part that?
Yeah.
It's kind of stressful, but I think the overall outcome is definitely worth it. Seeing like a lot of smiles on like everybody's faces, everybody interacting with different things that they want, and that I think that's one of the more important things is that we're learning more about the community as we have these events. We're learning like what we don't like, what the community doesn't like, and like what could kind of be, I guess like what we should like change to make everybody feel comfortable, so they could be like themselves in that space.
That's nice, being able to kind of take in consideration. I mean, I know that could also be a little difficult sometimes, being able to just already kind of pre-plan for that to happen, because obviously with any event there always can be something that goes wrong or someone is just not going to have a good time. But being able to just like put all that to the side and just say, hey, listen, we're going to do this event, it's going to be a success, we're going to manifest that. That's a good mindset to have, especially as like future entrepreneurs. So props for that. But I guess it's gonna kind of be like my last question. I mean, obviously, you've talked about a lot of things you want to do. Is there anything that we can expect in the near future? Maybe something new recently that you kind of want to touch on, or are these kind of hush hush until they come out?
I guess like somewhat a little hush hush until they come out.
Okay.
But I mean, issue 2 is coming out.
Yeah.
For
Okay,
sure.
that's
So,
something
like,
exciting.
That's something that we're planning. But I mean, I don't want to give up too much. You guys can say.
I don't want secret missions right now.
I mean, I guess we had a pop up at a local vintage and thrift store. Black Ivy. Yeah. So we're gonna have a little article come out on our website, just discussing like that collaboration as well, like what we appreciate about like a store like that, and just the kind of pieces that they represent their story.
Okay, well, as you know, I always usually end off these things with like a bit of like a more fun, like lighthearted kind of question. So, I mean, now that there's 3 of you, it's gonna be 3 different answers, so that should be interesting. But I guess now I can ask you about, your opinions on concept or design. So, what is one, ick in the design world that you know of that you're just like, no, we need to cut this out? And this can even be in your individual design worlds, but what is one ick that you get in the design world that you wish would let's just stop doing this, guys, please?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
There's all of us like different parts of like design. So pick one thing.
I guess I could start. This is like for me, I love music, and so it's like I wouldn't say something that's happening in the music industry, but I'll say it's something that I've seen a lot recently. It's like I don't think you need to announce like things before it's done.
Yeah.
Or like before, like when things are still like kind of, I'm not sure. Like you don't need to say, oh yeah, like expect this. So we're gonna do this. Like why you starting to roll out for something that doesn't exist or you aren't like 100% sure, or at least like 90% sure. Like just I don't know, take your time. Like it's okay to take your time on stuff. We want the best from whoever it is, like you want. So I think just take your time with it. There's no like timeline that everyone fully has to follow. Maybe like some people have like obligations, whatever, but for the most part, they're not real obligations. Like unless it's legal, then okay, But just take your time with whatever you're working on. Like scrap it, go back to the drawing board, whatever. Like, but just take your time before announcing. Oh yeah, like, this is what's going on.
I would say not being authentic, kind of just, there's a lot of stuff out there, so it's like, it's easy to just be like, I like this logo, or I like, this style, let me, put it like word for word, bar for bar for my stuff, and it's like, that's someone else's world, like, that's not your world. So like, social media, like, it's easy to, like, it's right in front of you, it's easy to just pick something and be like, I want this, but like, if it's not in touch with like the universe that you have set, then it shows, and it kind of it's easy to see like, well, this musician had this sound, this sounds familiar, or this brand had this looks familiar. So like of course references and stuff like that, but like not twisting it into your own. I think that's like it's not like. It's an egg. It's not like it's not honest, and it's not it's not genuine. So I'm not a fan of it.
Is it crazy that I'm still thinking about it?
I don't think it's that crazy.
No, I mean this was definitely a wide concept. You can literally take it anywhere. So
well, I'll give you two. I'm gonna start with a cheap one. It's like because we're all big movie people. I'm gonna start with a lot of like the recent movies are. They feel like they show too much of their trailers.
Yeah.
I don't watch those anymore.
But like, what the new Marvel one, the Captain America one? I'm like, bro, I've seen like 50% of the movie at this point. But other than that, I'd say don't like constrict yourself into like one box. Like, and like be careful of like what like influences your designs. Because like for all three of us coming from like strict, I guess, families. Alright, it's like sometimes you gotta go against the grain, go against like what everybody is like appealed to, and just like try to do your own thing. Or just explore like what you want to explore. Although you are like a musician, if you want to do art, just like try to like relate it back to like who you are. But I guess that's pretty much it.
And what's yours?
Tons of it.
Yeah, what's yours? I'm interested to hear.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess an ick that I would say is honestly, I think like we kind of touched upon it like a little bit too, like the fast production where people just put things out, and like to me, like an ick for me, and I know people are definitely gonna come for me for this, but like the one-hit wonder thing, I don't know why, but to me it's like like you mentioned before, taking time. I love an artist that really thinks about what they're putting out there and that it has a message. For me, I can dance to music that has no message, but to me that's not necessarily music. It's more just like a tune, and it's something you use to tune out the world with. And for me, I like music where I can tune in, you know what I mean? So that's kind of like an ick for me, but yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. a little quote there, but thank you so much, you guys, for joining once again. Yen Studios, everyone. These are amazing gentlemen here, and definitely keep tuned for their next release that's coming out. We don't know when, but it's going to be there. So thank you for tuning into Lexi's World, and I'll see you in the next episode. Peace.
Thank you.
Awesome.